Howdy folks, and welcome to the first episode of the podcast Learn English with Fairytales, a podcast aimed at all levels and all ages learners, both native and non-native speakers, who want to improve their English language skills by means of some of the most beautiful stories ever written or told so far. My name is Gaetano del Gaiso, and I'll be keeping you company as you manage to bring to completion any preliminary tasks before setting off on this extraordinary journey towards lands of magic and pristine wonders. Today's episode is going to be about a story which I happen to be particularly fond of, as it was one of my father's favorite bedtime stories, and he would tell it to me almost every night before bedtime. The story I'm talking about is The Fox and the Cat, which is a fairy tale from Aesop, recounting, as suggested by its very name, of a fox and a cat contesting who's the best at skedaddling from hunters and their terrifying hounds, and who's in possession of the most foxiness to do such a thing. Being a rather brief tale and bringing along a severe moral, it could perfectly work as a bedside story to tell your kids before bedtime. Brother Grimm's version of the story featured in this very first episode of the podcast carries a host of delightful vocabulary and expressions that, sure enough, are worth to be enumerated and are most likely to help you expand your vocabulary as well. So, why don't we just check them out together? But before doing that, remember to check the description box of this episode in order to find the complete list of vocabulary and expressions selected for the episode of concern, and the link to the transcript for you to consult freely at your pleasure. Vocabulary segment. Let's take a look at vocabulary and expressions selected for today's episode. Highly regarded. Highly regarded. It is an adjective meaning taken into great consideration by many people. As in, Toby is for sure a highly regarded paediatrician. Friendly manner. Friendly manner. It is a collocation meaning behaving in a pleasant and kind way. As in, Theresa always speaks to me in a friendly manner. To get by. To get by. It is a phrasal verb used to ask someone how they are dealing with a difficult situation. As in, how are you getting by in these hard times? Arrogance. Arrogance. It is a noun referring to a behavior that shows you believe you're better than other people. As in, I think Jenny has given proof of her arrogance once too many times. From head to feet. From head to feet. It is an archaic expression meaning observing someone or something thoroughly. As in, Connor looked at her from head to feet. Also, from head to toe. Speckled. Speckled. It is an adjective referring to the motif showing on some animal's fur, consisting of small spots or patches of color. As in, oh, look at that speckled cat! How I wish to pet it. Modestly. Modestly. Meaning with a tendency not to talk about or make obvious your own abilities or achievements. As in, she spoke modestly about her work. Nerve. Nerve. It is a noun meaning a set of long, thin fibers carrying information throughout the body, or the courage or confidence necessary for doing something difficult or unpleasant. As in, have you got the nerve to ask how I'm doing? Sackful. Sackful. It is a noun meaning a great indefinite quantity. As in, there's a sackful of apples in the basket. Nimbly. Nimbly. It is an adverb meaning in an agile way. As in, the marmot nimbly hid behind the rock. Foliage. Foliage. It is a noun meaning the leaves of a plant tree, or leaves on the stems or branches on which they're growing. As in, I love frolicking amidst the foliage in autumn. To leave someone in the lurch. To leave someone in the lurch. It is an expression meaning leaving someone without any help or protection when needed. As in, you left me in the lurch when Social Security erupted and questioned me. Before moving to the story, I would like to remind you that each and every vocabulary and expressions featured within the vocabulary segment are highlighted by this sound, for you to better identify them whilst listening. Now, without losing any further time, let's take a deep dive into the story. So make sure to sit comfy, have something to sip on whilst talking, and enjoy your listening and learning experience with us. This is The Fox and the Cat. It happened that the cat met Mr. Fox in the woods. She thought, he is intelligent and well experienced and is highly regarded in the world. So she spoke to him in a friendly manner. Good day, Mr. Fox. How's it going? How are you? How are you getting by in these hard times? The fox, filled with arrogance, examined the cat from head to feet, and for a long time did not know whether he should give an answer. At last he said, "Oh, you poor beard licker, you speckled fool, you hungry mouse hunter, what are you thinking? Have you got the nerve to ask how I am doing? What do you know? How many tricks do you understand?" "I understand but one," answered the cat modestly. "What kind of a trick is it?" asked Mr. Fox. "When the dogs are chasing me, I can jump into a tree and save myself." "Is that all?" said the fox. "I am a master of 100 tricks, and in addition to that, I have a sackful of cunning." "I feel sorry for you. Come with me, and I will teach you how one escapes from the dogs." Just then a hunter came by with 4 dogs. The cat jumped nimbly up a tree and sat down at its top, where the branches and foliage completely hid her. "Untie your sack, Mr. Fox! Untie your sack!" the cat shouted to him, but the dogs had already seized him, and were holding him fast. "Ho, Mr. Fox!" shouted the cat. "You and your 100 tricks are left in the lurch. If you had been able to climb like I can, you would not have lost your life." And that's how the story ends. Well, folks, I guess it's all for today's episode. I really hope you happen to have enjoyed it as much as we adored to produce it. If so, don't forget to support our work by sharing this episode everywhere and spreading the podcast to all your friends, relatives, or acquaintances who could possibly appreciate it at least as much as you might have had so far. That being said, we'd like to invite you to share some love in our social media. You could find all the links in the description box of the episode and renew our appointment for the episode to come, out in 3 weeks from today. Thank you from the very bottom of our heart, and be seeing you